Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast. My name's Brad Ovens, alongside co-host, co-founder Clint Miller. Clint, how we doing tonight?
Good, Brad. How we doing?
We're doing good. I'm good. Joining us from all the way out in, somewhere out west. Where exactly are you again this week, Stephen?
Well, we're coming to you from the Casa de Hampton here in Helena, Montana. Which is the state capital of Montana.
Absolutely. So, this week in racing, a lot of cool things happening. Daytona testing starting, which I know may not be the most exciting thing to watch, but something cool that Clint, you were mentioning earlier that you noticed from down in testing.
Yeah, actually, Chase Elliott was the fastest nationwide car, and his father Bill was the second fastest in nationwide practice this weekend. And another cool thing that was really talked about on Twitter over the weekend was how nice it was to see the number 3 back up on the top of the speed charts.
Yeah, that's a really big deal. I think it's a big deal just to get that car on the track and really get it back so people are used to seeing it on the track. I mean, to announce that the 3's coming back and take the pictures and do all the handshaking and all that stuff is cool. But to see it on the track and the paint scheme that they were running for testing, I think that was something that really kind of made it real for a Dale Earnhardt Sr. fan like myself. To actually see a black car with a white number 3 running around Daytona doing the testing thing, it was kind of like, okay, this is really happening, and it's okay. It's going to be a good thing. So I know from a Dale Senior fan's perspective, that's how I felt about it the other day.
Yeah, I didn't see what the car looked like, but usually when they test, they're one basic primer color, and then they got the number of the car on it. So I bet it was a little nostalgic for all you senior fans out there that seeing that car on the track again.
That it was, and I think you guys probably saw me write this the other day. Testing just doesn't do it for me.
No,
I think what it does is it gets you back into that mindset of, okay, in another month we're going to be going back racing again, and that's kind of cool. Like, I like that. I mean, but as far as the actual testing part of it, I mean, these guys are out doing single car runs for that first day there. I mean, I give all the credit in the world to the Fox Sports guys, because I have no idea how they managed to get through 4 hours of television coverage when they're just doing single car runs out there.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you think about it for, it's one thing to when they're out there qualifying, trying to get through it, but 4 hours of, I couldn't even imagine.
Just brutal. But they did it, and, in a month's time, we're going to be getting ready to set the lineup for the 500 and run the Sprint Unlimited and all that good stuff. So it's exciting for sure.
Well,
and along with the NASCAR returning comes Florida in February.
Actually,
for the dirt car guys.
Actually, I think Florida in February is before the Daytona 500, I think.
Yeah. I think they start somewhere around the 11th or 12th. So that's right before the Sprint Unlimited.
Yeah, but it's nice. We've had the off season. Granted, for a lot of those guys, it hasn't been long enough. But it's a sign of, like you said, it's a sign of racing around the corner. And I'll get my fix. I'll watch a couple races. A couple 1-lap runs out there, just enough to see a car go on around the track. But I'm not into the NASCAR thing, the testing, like you said. But next Saturday, the Chili Bowl Nationals. On MAV TV, channel 214 on DirecTV. I think B-Rad's coming down to the house, and I think we're going to watch it. I've been watching Supercross to get my racing fix in. So there's stuff out there now. It's becoming more and more.
I got to tell you, that Supercross, that's some pretty popular coverage.
It really is, and it's cool. I mean, they do a lot of neat stuff, and a lot of neat stuff with the social networking. You know, they have one girl on the telecast, and that's all she does. She does Facebook, Twitter, and all this stuff, and then they post pictures. They have people send pictures in of them watching the Supercross for the night, and they all try to outdo each other. I got to tell you, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, before we get too much farther in the show, I do want to take a minute to thank our sponsors for Turn 5. Turn 5 is fueled by motorsportsnutrition.com and marketed to you weekly by horsepower360.com. I want to thank our friend Christy Cottrell with both of those brands being our presenting sponsors. And also our associate sponsors, Creekside Entertainment, the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 podcast, Penn Yan Electronics, your local Penn Yan Radio Shack dealer on Main Street in downtown Penn Yan. And, of course, our friends over at Race Chaser Online and Speed 77 Radio. They just got done with their first full week of episodes last week. You can check them out on live stream. Look up Speed 77 Radio on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7 o'clock. They'll have their Motorsports Madness weekend wrap-up tomorrow night at 7 o'clock with Jacob Seelman and Tom Baker and a cast of characters from the Race Chaser Online brand. So thank those guys, and we're going to be running some advertisement for them, and they're going to be airing a commercial for us over on their shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So nice little relationship we have with those guys.
Absolutely, and coming up tonight on the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, we're going to sit down and have a chat with local racer, numerous time champion, basically, between him and his brother, dominating the Woodhall High Banks in the Modified Series and Sportsman Series. Billy VanPelt is going to join us here on the Turn 5 podcast.
Billy the Kid.
Absolutely. So we look forward to chatting with him and seeing what's new coming up, and talking to him about his special ride that he's got coming up at the Ransomville Speedway.
Yeah, that deal with Ryan Susi's team putting Billy in a car. We'll have to ask him for just how many races that's going to be tonight, but it sounds like it would be for some of their bigger races out there, so we'll talk to him about that. You're talking about the Woodhall Raceway, just to get a few things in here, a local news and notes. We'll start with the Woodhall Raceway. They have already gotten through their rules meetings and all of that good stuff. We're still waiting on the tentative schedule for 2014. I know a lot of the local tracks are working on their schedules right now, trying to get everything ironed out, see what's happening, when and how and who and all that good stuff. So we'll still waiting on the schedule for those guys. The other thing we got is looking at some news and different things regarding Woodhall. It looks like some folks are asking about when their car show is going to be down at the Arnott Mall. That's always a popular show before race season gets started. And still waiting on an official date. Looks like it may fall on March 22nd and 23rd. So definitely check back with the Woodhall Raceway on that, and for the confirmed date for that show. And still no word out of the Black Rock Speedway as far as their schedule goes. I'm not sure if you guys have heard any rumblings at all. I've heard nothing myself.
Haven't heard anything. I check the website out periodically. We went and picked up Carl's street stock this weekend, or actually Jared brought it up, and we started taking that apart this weekend. And it's tough. We know that there's going to be a street stock class, but But then what after that? We don't know, and we don't know how many races, and so it's all up in the air. Your hands are tied. You're waiting for something.
Yeah. Now, you were just talking about Carl. Now, Carl's plan is street stock in 2014, as I understand it, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, we're going to run a full season of street stocks at the Black Rock Speedway. I imagine we'll probably tour a little bit at the end of the season. We just found out this weekend that Steve Kent may bring a late model up and give us the rite of passage to whenever we want to take it out, to go ahead and take it out. But which won't be very often. We're concentrating on the street stock. We want to be in the top 5 in points, because then you're locked into the Empire 100. So,
yeah, that's a big deal. And that was something that for this year's race that I wasn't really aware of until I want to say we were about 3/4 of the way through the show, and I realized that Dylan Cece wasn't yet qualified, and he wasn't going out for the consolation. I go over to the Creekside Racing pit, and I said, Dylan, what are you guys doing? You guys are on jack stands. He goes, oh, we're in the show. And I was like, oh, okay. That's good to know, because, at that point, I was like, what are they doing? He's not going to make it. But, yeah, so that's definitely a big deal for those guys.
Yeah, 3 years ago, we were out. We were qualified in. The last time he raced, well, no, it wasn't the last time he raced, but car we called Big Bird. We hated that. Carl hated that car. I loved it, because we won with that car. And from Saturday when we unloaded it to Thursday, it was the biggest piece of crap going. It was just it would leak from everywhere. We had to work on it constantly it was terrible. But on Friday night, that thing ran like a champ and was always around the top 3 or 4. But as soon as the checkered flag fell, it was like Herbie sticking his tongue out and saying we're all done.
Speaking of Big Bird, that reminds me, this coming Sunday, Stephen, you may remember this, we'll be going to the Lighthouse Lanes in Oswego to do our live in-person broadcast of the Turn 5 Racing podcast at the Lighthouse Lanes. Going to be talking to a couple Oswego drivers and maybe some affiliates from the Oswego Speedway. Should be a good time.
Oh yeah, that is for sure, and that was a nice segue, Brad. They got one of their more popular crew guys for a couple teams over there at Oswego Speedway is a man they call Big Bird. And Clint, let me tell you, they call him Big Bird for good reason. That boy is tall. He's a tall boy.
One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And he likes to party, too. We worked a few years filming the Oswego banquet up at Turning Stone, and he likes to party. That's for sure. But, yeah, we are looking forward to getting out to the Oswego Speedway, or right down the road from it anyway, at Lighthouse Lanes. I want to thank the Lighthouse Lanes staff. They were very responsive to us when we reached out to them and said, hey, we'd like to come do a remote show and highlight some of the drivers from the Speedway and all of that. And they were like, absolutely, come on out. And Danny Kay from Oswego Speedway as well. He said, absolutely, what can I do to help? So we are looking forward to getting out there on Sunday. Again, if you're listening to this coming out Monday night or Tuesday morning, you're going to be around the Oswego area on Sunday. We'll be out there starting at 11 o'clock is going to be showtime. And looking forward to talking to a lot of drivers. We got 3 or 4 confirmed already with Danny Kay, and it's going to be a good time out there.
Yeah, and a little program reminder that we will be posting probably on Monday instead of Tuesday next week.
You got to talk to the producer about that.
My bets are
it's going to be same time.
You'll probably have the Turn 5 Racing podcast available for viewing and listening about the same time that you'll be able to say, I know who won the Super Bowl.
or the playoffs, AFC Championship
or playoffs, Super Bowl playoffs.
I was gonna say that's a long turnaround time there, man.
I'm a racing fan. My team didn't make it, so whatever.
Now my team did though, Brad. So you got to be my team's still kicking. So you got to at least be an associate fan.
I did. I watched a couple games this past Sunday.
Can you keep them kicking for at least one more Sunday? Because I don't want to see Tom Brady win the Super Bowl again.
I'll do my best.
Well,
all right, boys. What do you say we head over to a break, Brad?
Absolutely. We'll take a break here. Here are some words from our fine sponsors, and when we come back, we'll be joining Billy VanPelt here on the Turn 5 Racing Podcast.
You're listening to Turn 5.
MotorsportsNutrition.com is Turn 5's official home of race day and recovery supplements. Developed for racers, by racers, with over 30 years behind the wheel. MotorsportsNutrition.com has the right Advocare supplements to keep you going. On race day, turn to healthy Advocare products trusted by NASCAR, the NCAA, Olympic athletes, and 410 Sprint Car and World of Outlaws driver Ryan Smith. Visit them on the web at www.motorsportsnutrition.com or call Christy at 330-431-9714 and tell them Steve and Clint sent you. Penn Yan Electronics is your Radio Shack dealer in Penn Yan. They have everything to keep your phone, computer, and home theater system sounding sharp. Visit them on Main Street in beautiful downtown Penn Yan or call them at 315-536-7700 and see our favorite salesman, Clint Miller. Hey Brad, where do you go for your NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, short track, dirt, and World of Outlaws coverage?
I go to RaceChaserOnline.com.
Aren't they also at Speed 77 Radio on live stream?
Yeah, they've got the Motorsports Madness Report on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Join in on the fun at RaceChaserOnline.com and see them on Facebook. Search Race Chaser Online. Want to build a successful driver to race team to sponsor relationship? Visit www.horsepower360.com and consult with their expert staff that is trusted by 410 Sprint Car and World of Outlaws driver Ryan Smith. Horsepower360.com.
Okay, welcome back here to Turn 5. On our Turn 5 hotline, sponsored by Horsepower360.com. We have Billy VanPelt, champion race car driver, Southern Tier Zone hero, I like to call him. Billy, how we doing tonight?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We were just talking, and we frequent Race New York, and we listened to Doug's Dirt Diary, and heard your, a couple good interviews that you had with him. Of course, we have some different followers here because we're new. Got some big things in the works for Ransomville this year, don't you?
Yes, we do. When I did the interview with Doug's Dirt Diary, a lot of my fans know that I've lost my ride with Chilson Racing, and they had shut down their operation, and they're going to only keep one car in the race once in a while. So the hope is I was going to pick up a ride and stuff, and Brian and Roy Sushi had given me a call.
Now from what I understand, that's kind of sight unseen too, right?
I didn't quite get that. You broke up there.
Okay, sorry about that. Now that was kind of something that you did the interview with Doug's Dirt Diary, and
yes, it was.
Yep, and then they just kind of called you out of the blue, right?
Yep. They actually contacted me through Facebook, and we talked a little bit, and they asked if I would run 3 races for them this year. So, and along with that is taking some of my knowledge and helping them.
Right, because they run Bicknell cars too, and I believe you're pretty comfortable with those.
Oh, very comfortable with Bicknell cars. I've been associated with Bicknell since 1980. 1998 is when we got our first one. So, and I've been with them ever since. And very comfortable with the Randy and Bicknell Racing product. So,
wow, that's great. Let's see, they're talking what, Battle of the Border, and there's 3 big shows that Ranceville's having. Is there any talk of getting up there before those shows to get any track time?
I'd like to. I just got to see what it brings. I know I want to go up and see the facility, and I have plans of even trying to do that this weekend, going to Bicknell's open house, and I'd like to see what they got going on. And we talked about they have a seat that does fit me and stuff, and that they'll have to put in the car because Ryan's a little bit smaller than I am. But hopefully we'll get to go up maybe during practice and hot lap it or something and work with them a little.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, I'm from Dundee, Black Rock Speedway. My dad's raced at Woodhall many times, so I've got to see you over the years dominate the place for a long time. Obviously, your brother Kurt. I was really shocked to hear that you were without a ride, and I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, all racers, they go through that, and the economy's got kind of a crunch on us, but it's good to hear that you have something in the works anyway. Is there anything local that you got working on?
I got something in the works. I'm not ready to spill the beans on that yet, but definitely got something in the works, and we're going to go from there. Good.
Well, that's glad to hear. Now, just for instance, I'm not asking you to give anything away, but would be for a Saturday night at Woodhall, or for I know you drove for Ray Smith a couple times at Black Rock in the sportsman class.
I do have something lined up with Ray Smith. I will tell you that much. We're going to run sportsmen a little bit here and there. We did talk about 358 racing, but yes, I do have something lined up for Woodhall. Like I said, people will figure it out when I get it.
Yeah, I don't.
Get it ready.
Yeah, no.
We're just not ready to spill the beans yet on that particular part, but I will throw the teaser out there. Pay attention to what we got going on, and we're going to try to throw a party and introduce everybody in the car and go from there.
And, of course, everybody can check out Facebook, keep up on the updates with Billy VanPelt Racing. Search Facebook, Billy VanPelt Racing. Like the page, and I'm sure you guys will be updating that quite frequently as the news comes out.
Yes.
Okay. And just for maybe some of our listeners, I know a lot of our listeners are from the, like Clint was saying, Dundee area, kind of up the up Yates County, up northern in the state here. Why don't you share with us a little bit about who Billy VanPelt is, where you got your start? I know Stephen was talking about. I had a few good years up here at Black Rock Speedway. Just kind of give us an idea of where you started, how you started, and what all you've got behind the name of VanPelt.
You were breaking up there a little bit, but I think I got the gist of what you were asking.
Okay.
You were along the lines of what I've done in the past years and what I've done with racing at Black Rock and Woodhall Raceway?
Yeah.
Was that it?
Just kind of how you got started, some of the accolades you've earned over the years, and kind of give our listeners an insight of what you've done through your career. Yeah.
All right. Well, I was growing up as a kid. I started racing snowmobiles when I was 12 years old. I got to do a lot of racing around northern Pennsylvania and southern New York, doing ice oval racing. And then as a teenager, I got into racing three-wheelers and four-wheelers, and my brother Curtis had a race car by then. And when my brother Curtis got a ride with the Sherwood family in 1987, my dad asked me if I would like to pick up the family ride and drive the modified. So I got to jump right into a modified right out of the box. Okay. So from 1987 to it was 1999, I drove for Ted White. And from Ted White, I drove from there to... trying to think, it was like, 4 years ago, up till 4 years ago, and then I started driving for Kevin Chilson. When Ted bought the racetrack at Woodhall Raceway, we parted ways, and actually a race car was too much to have in the mix for Ted. He had too many businesses going on with his salvage business, and he was the township supervisor and buying a racetrack.
Mm-hmm.
The last thing he needed was a race car in the mix.
Oh, absolutely.
So, but over the years, I've got a chance to run Blackrock. I won a couple championships out there. I won several at Woodhall, and just been enjoying racing as much as we can.
Absolutely. Now, looking at your Facebook page, the Billy VanPelt Racing page, obviously we all know you've been in the modified, and it looked like there was some pics of late model. Now, were you behind the wheel of the late model this past year?
Not this past year. Well, I did drive it once. I did get to run Race of Champions race this year one time. But the year before, I was asked in the middle of the season, or about a quarter of the way into the season, Chuck McGregor approached me and said that they were out a driver and they were interested if I would get behind the wheel for them. And I got to play with that quite a bit there. And for only running 3/4 of the season, I ended up 11th in points, 1 point out of 10th. So I didn't think that was awful bad at all, and won a couple races with it, and definitely had a great time with it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's nice to be able to strap into something that you can actually go out and have fun with, because I know when you're there every week and you're running for points that it can be pretty stressful and pretty strenuous on you and the crew, so it must have been kind of nice to be able to fall back a little bit and just remember what it was like just to have fun again.
Oh, yeah. And one of the biggest things with McGregor's when we jumped in there, it wasn't McGregor. I'm saying McGregor, but it wasn't. Anyway, when I jumped in with Chuck, yeah, it was Chuck McGregor. But anyway, when I jumped in with him, and I told him, I said, look, I don't know how to adjust a late model. I can tell you what it's doing, but I don't know nothing about the chassis. So we had a great time with them, and I would get out and I would tell them what the car was doing, and they had to fix it. And to be really honest with you, Johnny Waters had a lot of input on what they did for the setup in the race car to making it right.
Yeah, that guy's pretty good at getting around Woodhall in a late model.
Yes, he is. He's really good. So, I mean, I had a lot of fun with Chuck. Had a lot of fun with Johnny. And I actually had a lot of fun with a lot of the guys in the late model class, because when I first started playing there, Jeremy Wonderling gave me my first shot and playing with him a little bit. Okay. And when I got in there to run on a weekly basis, they were all coming over and picking on me and telling me to get the hell out of their way. And so, I mean, the camaraderie of that class was just bar none. I mean, it was a good group of guys, and I hear a lot of them guys are going to create late models, and I wish them all great luck with that too. I mean, it's a good group of guys.
Absolutely. Now, one question I did have for you here is we see on the racing page on Facebook a lot of support going for Dylan Grover. Care to share a little bit about that with us?
I would. Dwayne and Dylan found a search for a champion through Champion Spark Plug. If you're in the top 15, there's voting going on until February 2nd. If you're in the top 15, I think there's like a $5,000 sponsorship you can win out of that, and then they're going for a grand prize. Right now, everything that we're trying to do is try to help Dylan at least get a little help. Been trying to get people promoted to go and look at the video. They can pick it up off the link off the web page, or they can just search for a champion web page and sign in that way. They can use their Facebook sign in, or put their own login in and view the videos, and you can vote every day. So we've been promoting and working really hard trying to get Dylan into that limelight.
We did have a chance to sit down and watch the video before our interview here, and really good video. And again, we'll for any of our listeners right now, we will post reshare that link that you can go to vote for Dylan on our Turn 5 page here on Facebook. So check out Facebook. Go ahead and get in there, and like Billy said, you can vote. I believe it said once a day you can vote, but you can you've got one vote a day until February. So definitely a great cause, and it definitely looked like something that would be really beneficial for any a $5,000 sponsorship, or the grand prize I think it said was upwards of I think 6 figures. So I mean, that would be huge for any dirt track racing team in this area.
Absolutely. And then we encourage anybody and everybody, now that we found it, we encourage anybody and everybody next year to even sign up. I guess this has been going on for 3-4 years is what I understand, and it's pretty cool. It's a neat deal, and gets anybody in the southern tier gets recognition for their drivers and their local track. So
Absolutely.
Any help we can get into the area is greatly beneficial for all of us racers.
It's a really good national publicity. And now, how did you guys sign up? Was there any criteria that you had to meet to qualify for it?
All I know is them guys found it, and I put my connections together with Jim, legit, and he come down and did the video for us, and you just had to have a 2-minute video, and
Yep.
It was search for a champion, and we talked a little bit about even trying to do a little bit for myself, but then it was, Dylan and Wayne found that, and I stayed out of it and did everything I could to try to promote Dylan.
Absolutely.
Dylan's going to be our future, so he's an up-and-coming little star, I hope, and he's done pretty good his first year. He's a pretty clean little racer, and I'm hoping for the best for the boy.
Now he's 14, Billy?
He's 14. He'll be 15 this year.
Yeah, he's got a lot of moxie for a 14-year-old. I watched him quite a bit this year, and I saw a couple of his interviews that he had. I think when a car show in Corning, they did an interview with him. He's a very polite young man. He's very well spoken, and I think he could be a good ambassador for the sport here for a long time.
Yes, and that's my hope for him. He'll be a great ambassador for the sport, like you say, and hopefully lead the class and lead the modifieds into the future.
Absolutely. Well, we wished him the best of luck, and everybody else that's supporting him. And again, Turn 5 fans, go ahead and check out our Facebook page. We'll have the link posted here in just a couple minutes. You can check it out. Vote for Dylan. Help him. He's got a chance at a $5,000 sponsorship and the grand prize. And did you say? I believe you said it was the beginning of February is when the voting ends.
February 2nd is
February 2nd.
the end of the round one, and
the top 15 stays.
Yeah, and Wayne even posted it on Race New York already too. So if you find DWG on Race New York about Dylan Groover, I mean, there's a link even there.
Okay, so there's plenty of links out there, folks. Go ahead and hop on, help him out. A 14-year-old racer at Woodhull. Now, does he plan on running full-time sportsman this year at Woodhull?
He's planning on running again this year at Woodhull, and my belief is they're going to try to do a couple of races other places as well.
Okay. So we'll have to keep our eyes open for Dylan.
Going together, and they're selling this teal car. So he started out with a teal car this year, but that's it worked out good. That's what was Ryan Swartout helped him out quite a bit. Okay.
Yep. We did see a couple pictures of. It looked like he was out test driving a Steve Payne car. So. Well, that'll be good. We guys wish you the best of luck with that, and hopefully we get some good turnouts with that. Now, looking as far as the 2014 season, we've got the 3 races at Ransomville. Like you said, you've got a couple other things in the works that we're not quite ready to share yet. Any other big news? Anything you guys are looking forward to? I'm
looking forward to spending some time with Ray Smith a little bit and racing with him again. He definitely is looking to run a few races with the Sportsmen. I told him I wasn't interested in running it at Woodhull on a regular basis. I held out to make sure I got me a 358 ride. which, like I said, we got a modified ride. We got something in the works finally. That just hasn't all landed 100% for me. That's why I haven't announced everything on that.
Okay.
But I am looking forward to running with Ryan and Roy Susi at Ransomville. Hopefully we'll get up there, like I said, to get some a little bit of practice. And we got the Battle of the Border and the Super Dirt Series race and then Memorial Day races. I believe it's 3 races. But that ought to be interesting in that. And I've been talking to even some of my old sponsors and trying to make sure they'll come aboard with us. Kevin Chilson, he's going to help me out as well. And Spiegels, I like to thank those guys. Hopefully, they'll everything will come through good with that. And I've got to thank Colonial Hotel. We do have a party that comes up every year that the Colonial Hotel does for us. They do support the local racers. There's like three of us guys that take our cars down there, and the neighborhood, the community comes in and they have a clam bake and do raffles and everything, and then the Colonial splits it up and gives it to us racers. Okay.
Now, do you have a date set this year for any kind of party like that?
It'll be at the end of March, and I'll make sure that is posted on Facebook as well when we get it up there.
Okay, we'll have to watch for that, and like he said, fans, check out the Billy VanPelt Racing on Facebook. Follow him there. A lot of good updates. And check out the Turn 5 Racing podcast, as we'll share the information as we get it as well. And Billy, I definitely want to thank you for joining us tonight and taking some time out and speaking with us in our Turn 5 Nation. And, of course, as we do at the end of every interview, in the world of racing that we're in, it wouldn't be possible without our sponsors, our friends, our family, crew members. So we want to take a minute or two and let you thank whoever may be on the crew, family, everybody that helps make the whole racing deal work and possible for us.
Well, in the past, I definitely like to thank my father for getting me started into this, and my brother Curtis, he's my hero. I've always loved to be watching Kurt, and then when I had the opportunity to race against my hero, that was a dream come true of mine. And then also, I got to thank all my sponsors that I've had over the past: Instant Heat Wood Pellets, Spiegels Recycling, Bicknell Racing Auto Products, Leaf Raceware, Colonial Hotel, Mullen Carpet we've had over the years, a lot of good sponsors, White's Repair we had over the years. I mean, there's a lot of good people that's helped me along the ways, and I like to thank some of my old crew. Right now I got to put together a new crew, and but some of my old crew is Martin and Chip and Mike and Gary and Guy. Those guys there, they were a lot of help throughout the last 4 years here, and probably one of the guys I should thank a lot, and he's got his own thing going right now, and which is my brother-in-law Dwayne with his boy Dylan. So I wish those guys the best of luck, and hopefully they've got a bright future ahead of them.
And of course, behind every good racer is a good wife too.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, she's my silent partner.
Well, Billy, we definitely appreciate you coming on and taking out the time with us. And again, best of luck to Dylan and Wayne, everybody with the voting. Make sure all of our fans here at Turn 5 go out and check out the link on the Turn 5 page and the Billy VanPelt Racing page. Vote for Dylan. You can vote daily. And again, Billy, we thank you. Best of luck for you this upcoming season, and we'll make sure we keep checking out the VanPelt Racing page and look forward to the new information when it comes out.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks for having me on here.
Absolutely.
All right, Billy. Have a good night, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, race fans, that's Billy VanPelt.
What a great interview.
It was. Billy's obviously a very well-known driver in the Southern Tier area. Woodhall Raceway, numerous championships. I believe he raced on the ROC Modified Tour. Looking forward to the 2013 season. It's going to be a newcomer at the Ransomville Speedway, so we're going to have to look out for him at the big shows up at the Big R.
Yeah, I hope he can get I hope he can get some track time, because those aren't races that you want to go in flying blind, because there's going to be a lot of good cars up there.
There's a lot of good home track cars up there. So I think it'll be good. Get some names out there, and again, if you're interested in following, go ahead to go to Facebook, go to Billy VanPelt Racing, search that on Facebook, like his page, and you can keep up to date with all of their information. And like he said, he's got a couple more announcements that are in the works right now, and as soon as they're available, they'll be posted on his Facebook page along with our Turn 5 Racing podcast page.
All right, so we'll be right back after these important messages, because we couldn't do it without our sponsors, Motorsports 360, motorsportsnutrition.com, Horsepower 360, Radio Shack, a whole bunch of guys we got to thank. You're listening to Turn 5.
Turn 5 is marketed weekly by Horsepower360.com. At Horsepower 360, they know how crucial branding is for your business or product to race fans locally and nationwide. Make the wrong move and damage to your brand can be irreversible. Make the right move with expert staff at Horsepower 360, and the dividends can be endless. They also develop and promote race drivers and teams like 410 Sprint Car driver and World of Outlaws driver Ryan Smith and Rob Warco Racing's number 94. Visit them online at www.horsepower360.com. Creekside Entertainment is the official DJ and photo booth of the Turn 5 Racing podcast. They have the most up-to-date karaoke to make your bar or party a great event. They also have the wedding DJs that will make your wedding reception one that the family will remember forever. Contact them online at www.creeksideentertainmentdj.com or call Stu at 315-481-9700. Hey Brad, where do you go for your NASCAR, IndyCar, F1, short track, dirt, and World of Outlaws coverage?
I go to racechaseronline.com.
Aren't they also at Speed 77 Radio on live stream?
Yeah, they've got the Motorsports Madness Report on Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock and the Stock Car Steel SRI Motorsports Report on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock. Join in on the fun at racechaseronline.com and see them on Facebook. Search Race Chaser Online. Put down that greasy dirt burger and race on over to motorsportsnutrition.com. They fuel race teams and drivers like 410 Sprint Car driver Ryan Smith with healthy Advocare supplements and products. Visit motorsportsnutrition.com.
Welcome back, race fans, to the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, fueled by motorsportsnutrition.com and marketed to you weekly by horsepower360.com. We are going to end the show tonight. Brad and Clint, thank you guys for getting that interview done with Billy VanPelt. Got some news coming out of his camp. Not everything ironed out just yet for the 2014 season.
No, that's true. It does sound like there are some pretty hot irons in the fire. He's not ready to divulge exactly what's going on. Although he did let a little more slip each time he said something about it, but which is fine. You know, Billy's a good guy, and I think that it's not going to matter what he's in, as long as people at Woodhall Raceway get to see Billy VanPelt going in circles every Saturday night.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he's one of maybe a handful of guys, and maybe even less than a handful, that when they pull in the parking lot, they've got an immediate chance to win. And Billy's always been in good cars that, you know, he could go out any given night and bring home the W. And that's, you know, I'm sure that's what the guys that are bringing him up to Ransomville, I'm sure that's what they see in him. And, you know, hey, if I owned a car, I'd want to put him in it too. So
yeah, and plus Susie's, they run Bicknell products, which that's what Billy is most comfortable with, the split rack cars. So, you know, he's going to bring some valuable information with that because he's very comfortable in them. So, yeah, I mean, why not?
Yep. I know last week during the episode you guys talked about, sending our thoughts and prayers to the Rauscher family on the loss of Corey. I wanted to mention this week, just to also send our thoughts and prayers out to the family of Joe Palmer. Joe was a longtime friend and sponsor of Dale Welty.
Yep.
And he passed away recently, and I wanted to make mention of that. Joe was a friend and a sponsor of our 4-cylinder race cars over at Black Rock, and the first year that I think it was the first year we had him on was the year that I won the championship with the Pavoskis, and just a real good guy. I rode to the races with him at Paradise for a long time, and he's certainly going to be missed, and along with Joe's family, wanted to send some positive thoughts toward Dale Welty as well. I know that was a dear friend of Dale's, and Joe will certainly be missed.
Yeah, absolutely. I never met the man, but you hear, the 9X that Welty drives, owned by Larry Kennison. That was their big sponsor. He was their guy, Joe Palmer Trucking. That name was synonymous, with Dale Welty and the Kennisons, and yeah, he's a racing fan, and he's going to be missed.
Yep. Now, to some other news, with the local dirt tracks. One thing that I've been trying to keep my eye on, and I've been trying to get some comment from different folks about, was recently there was a change with the Super Dirt Series, or what was supposed to be the Super Dirt Series race in April for the Jan Corcoran Memorial at Canandaigua Motorsports Park. And recently that sanction by the dirt car was pulled. Still haven't really had any news as to why that was pulled. We did at the Turn 5 Racing Podcast, we did send an email out to Dirt Car trying to ascertain some more information as to why the change was made. We did not hear back from Dirt Car. We hope that maybe in the next week we'll hear back from them and try and get some kind of comment from them. There was nobody alluded to it from Canandaigua either, so just kind of one of those deals that happens that you kind of sit back and scratch your head and try and figure out all what's going on there. But the Canandaigua schedule, I believe, is going to come out fairly soon. I know they've updated on their Facebook page that they're working on that. Sounds like they've got some exciting things coming up for the opening race, the Jan Corcoran Memorial. Obviously, that race has a lot of is really near and dear to Jeremy's heart, being that race is named after his mom. So I know Friday night they're going to have practice sessions for the big block modifieds. And out of those sessions, the 4th and the 6th place starter for Saturday night's 64-lap feature will be taken from those hot lap sessions. The fastest from each will be taken, and they'll start 4th and 6th in Saturday's feature. So,
wow,
that should be an exciting night, because if a lot of guys like, oh, hot laps, no big deal. You go out, shake the car down, make sure everything's good, no big deal. But when 4th and 6th is on the line, I mean,
yeah,
I think you got to go out and give it an honest chance.
Oh, beyond the shadow of a doubt. And wow, that is wow. I'm floored, because that's your car you're taking out of the box the first night out, and you got to push it. You got to.
Oh yeah.
There is no iron in the bugs out, man.
Yeah, the other thing is, if you don't go out, then you're in a draw, so you've got to try and make the draw in the heat. And then even if you draw in the feature, I mean, you could draw worse than 4th or 6th. So, I mean, really, that Friday night practice session really gives a good opportunity for somebody to start toward the front. although I know a lot of guys have shown that it doesn't really matter where you start at Canandaigua, but you know when you've got guys, you know, obviously now it's not going to be a dirt car series race, but I mean, you look at Canandaigua on a weekly basis, and there are a few cars short of being a Super Dirt Series race. So
yeah, their fields are really good, and you know, I'm sure Jeremy will have the track ready on the practice night, and there'll be you know, it'll be fast right out of the box, and you know, it's just
yep. Some other news. The other news coming out this week is T.O. Procar has signed on for the Short Track Super Series. They are going to be a fixture at the Orange County Fair Speedway for their Hard Clay Open on March 23rd. The leader at lap 25 will receive a $500 T.O. product certificate. And additionally, the top finishing T.O. driver in the Short Track Super Series will receive a $500 TO gift certificate. And then, on top of that, you also have the announcement coming out this past weekend about the American Racer Cup program for the 5 Mile Point sportsman and modified teams. And I'm sure that there's no coincidence that this announcement came out over the weekend down at the Motorsports Show down in Pennsylvania.
right. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that came out, I'm sure, over the weekend that we're just kind of hearing. You know, the Empire Super Sprints had some tweets out about stuff that they were just coming out with. So, looking for the schedule for them pretty soon.
Yeah, Dean just posted tonight that they haven't posted the tentative schedule up on the website yet, just for the mere fact that it is still tentative at this point. However, he did say that the total series as it stands right now is at 31 races, with 24 of those being full point shows. He says that you can expect to see a few new tracks on the tour. I know Thunder Mountain will be one of them. But the other thing is that it seems as though they condensed some races into a single weekend, where drivers aren't going to have to drive to Frogtown or drive to Canada just for one night and then come back and then, you know, do the back and forth game. So it sounds like, you know, they are taking into account their, you know, trying to make travel a little bit easier for their guys. And we look forward to that schedule coming out and seeing when and where the Empire Super Sprints are going to be.
Now, I don't know. Does anybody know what date is for the Glen this weekend, or for the Glen this year?
I do not know. It's in August. Is that helpful?
No, not at all. Because Oswego Speedway is having a huge sprint car deal. I believe it's August 9th. And I'm curious about that, because normally BlackRock's got the sprint car show on the Friday before the Glen.
Well, they did plan that on NASCAR weekend. NASCAR weekend at the Glen, the Cheese at 355, is August 7th through August 10th. So that'll be the night before the Cup race.
So it'll be the Friday before then, because Saturday they'll be at Canandaigua.
Well, we don't know yet. we haven't seen that schedule yet, but yeah, I'm sure there's no coincidence that fell on NASCAR weekend. I'm sure if Tony is feeling up to it, I'm sure he'll be doing the Oswego Canandaigua swing, as he's accustomed to doing.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was saying, was that, you know, that's usually a big, like maybe a Patriot Sprint Tour or something at BlackRock on that Friday before, usually. Because as we know, Tony's ran it for years up till last year. So I just found it interesting that ESS went, or maybe it's just a big sprint show. I don't know. Kissy Young was telling me a little bit about it over the weekend.
Okay. Yeah, and there's a very, very close working relationship with Tony Stewart and the Stiers family up there. So I'm sure that that's something we'll hear more about in the weeks to come. Clint, I think we're going to put a cap on the show tonight. Next time the folks hear from us, we'll be out at Oswego.
Lighthouse Lanes.
We're going to be out at Lighthouse Lanes. Again, that'll be Sunday, January 19th. Show starts at 11 a.m. We're going to have drivers from the Oswego Speedway on the show with us. We're also looking to get some of their young guns that are high school students at the Oswego High School. We're going to try and get some of those guys to come out on the show as well. So for everybody here at Turn 5, B-Rad on the soundboard, Clint Miller in studio, and all of our sponsors, Motorsports Nutrition, Horsepower 360, Creekside Entertainment, Penyan Electronics, and Race Chaser Online, Speed 77 Radio. I'm the host of Turn 5, Steve Ovens from Helena, Montana, saying, race fans, be sure to check it before you wreck it. We'll see you in Oswego.